My name is William Pagán, and I just graduated class of 2014 with a Juris Doctor from North Carolina Central. I had been doing software engineering and server development at IBM for about, I would say, 10, 11 years. I got into writing code because I wanted to write video games. Just the writing code was interesting and sort of entertaining enough. It was enough of a logic problem and sort of a game in itself. I had spent quite a bit of time at IBM doing inventing and working with inventors and mentoring inventors and accumulating a rather significant patent portfolio. It occurred to me that working in that space, working with patents, inventors, thinking about improvements to the state of the art was much more fulfilling for me and much more compelling than the actual production of that stuff. And so I set about around 2010 to, maybe even a little earlier, I had it in mind to pursue law so that I could be doing patent law and working with inventors and making that my full-time shtick. My mom was a single parent, right? And so, it wasn't automatic that I was going to be, with a Juris Doctor and 2 other degrees, and and 2 engineering degrees, and be working at a law firm at this point. I never thought I'd leave New York. Why would you ever need to, right? I mean, but a lot of circumstances have sort of happened in my favor to get me here, and I'm very cognizant of the fact that I don't have to be here. Things didn't have to work out this way. There are a lot of people, from my neighborhood who are either still there or nowhere. And there's no reason, just a turn of fate, I could have been one of those people. And I know that there are people who have interceded on my behalf to prevent that from happening, that sort of, bad roll of the dice, you know what I mean? Or shooting myself in the foot, one of those things where it's just like you're young, you're stupid, you make one mistake, and the rest of your life is over. That could have very easily happened. Today, especially, with the internet and everything is public and there is no privacy, you make one mistake, your life is over. And it's just, now more than ever, having sound mentors and people who will vouch for you and give you guidance and sort of look out for you and cut you a break, that's more critical than ever. People who have those connections succeed. Professor Beckwith at Central put me in contact with people who are working in this field. He really took an interest in me early and has mentored me throughout. And that goes for the rest of the staff at Central as well.
Will was in my contracts class. And of course, it's anonymous grading, but then eventually you find out who did, how well they did. And he was a wonderful student. He writes beautifully, and his analytical powers are very strong. He was able to discuss the law in a really wonderful way.
Professor Beckwith, he put the word out, and a lot of the attorneys here at this firm are Central grads, who went through the evening program. They have an appreciation for what that takes and a respect for it. They understand that Central is an elite program, particularly in the evening.
With someone like Will, I contacted the firms to say, this is someone you need to look at. But he won't be graduating for a couple of years. But I just wanted you to know about him, that he's a scientist, but he's a first-rate legal mind. So I was in a position to contact people, and it was really so easy to do because Will, once they met him, they realized what an exceptional person he was.
People don't really believe me when I tell them this, but I was not a terribly great student in my undergraduate and graduate academic career, because I didn't really have to be that great of a student. I could kind of, I took a natural shine to engineering, and natural interest is something that I did outside of school, so I didn't need school as much to prepare me for it, I didn't have the discipline and the sort of the attentiveness that would have been necessary for me to succeed in a legal career. And that, I think, is how Central has really prepared me the most for law, a career in law. They do a lot to try to enable the evening students to succeed. They make time, but sort of a different environment. You're getting a massive amount of content, and you still have to you have to have the discipline to use your out-of-class time effectively to get all of that processed. There are a lot of opportunities in which you might get distracted. There are a lot of people who may be in your life, some of which require your time, others of which, it's more discretionary whether you spend your time with them. You have to be able to identify who the people are going to contribute to your success and who are the people who are going to detract from your success. That's a life skill, to be able to identify people who are not going to be, to have your best interests, right? But even in an academic environment, you're gonna encounter people who are just, they're bad studiers. They're going to take away from your time. They're going to, take away from your positive outlook on the program. Complainers, the whiners, oh my God, I can't, the sky is falling. You have to be able to filter that out and surround yourself with a positive environment. For me, for example, I get distracted with foolishness. Easy for me to jump on Facebook and start just playing around and sort of, lose track of where I was reading and then have to go back and reread the same stuff over and over again. If you know that that's your nature or that you're inclined to do that, you can't put yourself in that environment. I am bar prepping here at the firm because I know that if I go home, I'm on Xbox or I'm playing with my daughter or I'm out eating somewhere, right? I can't do that, You have to make the conscious decision that I need an environment that is tailored to my success. That includes people, includes your physical surroundings, the whole 9 yards. That's incredibly important. And, it may not make you very popular up front, but you'd be surprised at how popular success makes you. I usually advise people that, you have to mix in a little bit of what you want to do and love to do with what other people want you to do and will pay you to do. Always pursue, what you love, but just, figure out who are the people with the money that are going to allow you the freedom to do that in the way that you love to do it. A degree in a field that is attractive to those people helps. For me, this law degree from Central absolutely has enabled me to get access to those people who are going to let me do what I love to do.